What's up, everybody? This is your boy Tech G back with another video to help you successfully pass the CompTIA Network Plus N10-007 certification. So let's get into it. In this video, you're going to learn about business continuity and disaster recovery concepts such as cold sites, warm sites, hot sites, various types of backups, snapshots, MTTR, MTBF, and SLA requirements. Let's talk about disaster recovery. So disaster recovery sites are sites where IT functions can be set up when a disaster prevents the use of the original location. These fall into three categories. You have a cold site. A cold site, it has power, HVAC, and network connections, but would need equipment and data before it could be used for IT functions. This is the least expensive to maintain before a disaster, but takes the longest time to set up during a disaster. Next, we have a warm site, and this is a site that has power, HVAC, network, and hardware that are suitable for IT functions. Systems at a warm site might need to have operating systems, apps, and data restored, or operating systems and apps that could already be installed to save time. A warm site costs more than a cold site and will require ongoing maintenance of hardware and possibly software, but could be made ready in hours rather than days compared to a cold site. And then we have a hot site, and this is a duplicate of your primary IT functions with hardware, apps, and data ready to run in minutes or less in the event of a disaster. This is the most expensive of the three disaster recovery plans, but for an organization that cannot afford any downtime, it might be the only one that is worth considering. Let's talk about backup. So when hardware fails, you can purchase replacements, but when storage devices fail, the data is lost unless you have backup copies. A backup is a copy of information stored on a computing device, such as a laptop, desktop, server, or a mobile device, and a backup can be restored in the event of data loss. A backup copy of information on a system can be used by the system in case the original is lost or corrupted. And there are many backup methods designed for different requirements, and the following are some type of backup methods that are used. And the first type of backup is a full backup, and this backs up all files, whether they are backed up previously or not. When the file is backed up, a file attribute known as the archive bit is changed to indicate the file has been backed up. Next, we have a differential backup, and this backs up all files that have been changed since the last full backup. And then you have an incremental backup, and this backs up only the files that have been changed since the last full or incremental backup. Now understand, a differential backup and an incremental backup are two different methods of backing up only changed files. If incremental backups are used between full backups, in the event that a full restoration is needed, the last full backup and all incremental backups must be restored. However, if differential backups are used between full backups, only the last full backup and the last differential backup must be restored. Let's talk about snapshots. So a snapshot, this is a record comprised of metadata that indicates the state of blocks and files in a unit of storage. Often snapshots come as a feature of NAS or network attached storage or SAN storage area networks, and are created and held on that storage. They allow the user to roll back to previously existing versions of a volume, drive, file system, database, etc. Snapshots are like a point-in-time copy or table of contents that shows which blocks and or files existed and where. In the case of rolling back, the volume or unit of storage in question will be changed to a state that reflected the snapshot by removal and movement of blocks, etc. Also, snapshots are not backups because they are not copies. They don't take up as much space individually, but their total volume can grow, especially if there are lots of deleted blocks and files. And so suppliers usually limit the amount of snapshots that can be retained. Next, we have MTTR, or mean time to repair. So mean time to repair, this is a basic measure of the maintainability of repairable items. It represents the average time required to repair a failed component or device. Expressed mathematically, it is the total corrective maintenance time for failures divided by the total number of corrective maintenance actions for failures during a given period of time. Next, we have MTBF, or mean time between failures. So mean time between failures, this is the predicted elapsed time between inherent failures of a mechanical or electronic system during normal system operation. MTBF can be calculated as the average time between failures of a system. The term is used for repairable systems, while MTTF, or mean time to failure, denotes the expected time to failure for a non-repairable system. The definition of MTBF depends on the definition of what is considered a failure. For complex repairable systems, failures are considered to be those out of design conditions which place the system out of service and into a state of repair. Failures which occur that can be left or maintained in an unrepaired condition and do not place the system out of service are not considered failures under this definition. In addition, units that are taken down for routine scheduled maintenance or inventory control are not considered within the definition of failure. The higher the MTBF, the longer a system is likely to work before failing. And then we have service level agreement. So an SLA, this is a commitment between a service provider and a client. Particularly aspects of the service such as quality, availability, and responsibilities are agreed between the service provider and the service user. The most common component of an SLA is that the services should be provided to the customer as agreed upon in the contract. As an example, ISPs will commonly include SLAs within the terms of their contracts with customers to define the levels of service being sold in plain language terms. In this case, the SLA will typically have a technical definition in mean time between failures, mean time to repair, or mean time to recovery, identifying which party is responsible for reporting faults or paying fees, responsibility for various data rates, throughput, jitter, or similar measurable details. All right, so this was my quick little class on business continuity and disaster recovery, where we have talked about things such as cold, warm, and hot sites, various types of backups, snapshots, MTTR, MTBF, and SLA requirements. Now, if you felt like you've gotten something valuable out of this information, go ahead and hit the like button, share button, drop a comment, but most importantly, subscribe to this channel. Also, go check out my website, Technology G, so that you can get read up on the latest and greatest to help you successfully pass the CompTIA Network Plus N10-007 certification. And until next video, ladies and gentlemen, peace.